how are you? Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I have an update, the first update, but I've been working on this palette like a crazy person on my face palette project pan. So this is my pan face palette project. If you're new to my channel, I've been doing this for 3 years. This is the first time that I haven't been doing updates, but I've been working on the palette and you will see it in the progress that I have. I have 3 palettes right here, but one is the main babe that I want to finish, and then the second one I want to finish next year, and on another one I just want to use it a little bit more. The last one hasn't been as successful and you will see, but if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. Stay tuned for this look because I do Natasha Denona looks, and I'm gonna have a Natasha Denona looks series, which is 7 days of Natasha Denona looks, super soon on my channel, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to see my progress on my Panda Face Palette project on these 3 face palettes that I have here, then just keep on watching. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna start from the one that I've used the least to the one that I've used the most. This was a palette that I was meant only to use a little bit more throughout a few months, and this is the Natasha Denona My Dream Chic Trio Blush and Highlighter palette. I always, when I'm using this palette, wish that it had a bronzer. So this palette is looking like this. I've used this about 5 times tops. I think maybe 4 times. That's how much I've used it. I'm not crazy in love with it because it doesn't have a bronzer. If not, I would probably have pan on this palette, and it would have been the palette that I would have taken with me on my trip instead of the main palette that I have on this project, because it's so sleek and small that if this cream highlighter was either this formula but on a bronzer or a powder bronzer, I would have gotten so much use out of it. I love the mirror, I love the presentation of it, I love everything about it. It's just that for me, it's not a practical palette since it has 2 highlighters. I don't need 2 highlighters in a palette. I would much prefer another blush or a bronzer. And I'm gonna leave this palette out for a month, and then I will show you how it's looking, and I will rotate another palette to use during a short period of time into this project. Then the next one that I didn't use as much, and the reason why I haven't been using these as much is because I went on a trip and it was a 6-week trip, and then at the beginning of the year I went on a 2.5-week trip. So I've been traveling a ton and I take only 1 palette with me. I don't take a ton of products because I'm not gonna use them. If I take a lot, I'm not gonna use them. So the second palette, and this is gonna be my main palette I think for next year. If I can finish a lot of it this year, I will, but this is a palette for next year. This is the Natasha Denona Tan Bronze and Glow palette, and it's the second to oldest palette that I had from Natasha Denona after my Bloom palette, which was a palette that I finished last year. This one, I repressed the cream and I already heat pan in it again. This is a great palette. I just wish that this blush bronzer product was easier to blend into the skin. I always mix it with these 2. I only have used these 2 colors since my intro, and I've used them a couple times. I haven't been using these 2 because I've been focusing on rotating my entire collection and I forgot about this face palette. So yeah, this one, if I go on a trip, I could probably take it with me because it has a bronzer, blush, and the highlighters that I can use on an everyday basis, and I can use this as eyeshadow for sure. So this is how this one is looking, and it's one that I want to keep reaching for from time to time, but remember, my main focus is 1 palette at a time. And then you guys are gonna be surprised, but not that much. I've used this palette so much. I know this palette I will finish before the year is over. The blush is giving me a hard time because I don't want to use the same blush every day. It's not who I am. I know my friend Alejandra Lisset here on YouTube, she's known and she always says it, that she doesn't mind using the same bronzer, highlight, and blush every single day because you can layer them and whatnot, but this gives me a rosy cheek and I don't want a rosy cheek every single day. So the blush is making me work for it. Okay, so it's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Mini Sculpted and Locked, and I'm obsessed with Hourglass face powders. It is what it is. So I have these 4 powders right here, And if you guys saw my intro, I didn't have anything done from this palette. So the powder that I finished first, of course, was Soft Light, which was what I was using as a buffing powder, and it was great. If they sell that as a single, it would be amazing, even better than Mood Light, than Ethereal Light, and than Diffuse Light. I prefer Soft Light. I would have on my kit Soft Light and Radiant Light. They're beautiful. I finished that one first. I had the smallest amount when you saw the intro. Then the bronzer, I said that I wanted to heat pan on it. I use this bronzer now that I went on my trip, and I used it as an everyday bronzer for about 2 months until I finished it completely, and I have nothing left. I would use this even as eyeshadow. The highlighter, you can see that a little bit more. I stopped using this palette when I came back home because I was bored, but this is the highlighter that I'm wearing on my cheeks today. It doesn't, I'm so pale that it doesn't even, you can catch the glow, but you can barely catch the highlighter. This highlighter I've used as an eyeshadow. I've used it mixed with the blush to give it a little bit of a switch. I've used it as an unicorn highlight, as a highlighter. So I've used it a ton, and I think this is easy to pan for a highlight. I've really taken time to appreciate it and love this palette. And then the blush, it doesn't look like it, but I've used it quite a bit. The dome is not as pronounced as it was when I first opened this palette, and I'm hoping that I can finish this palette. If I see myself that I'm getting too sick of the blush, I will finish the highlighter while using the blush, and then I will pass it on for someone else to finish the blush. And I don't mind doing that. For me, the palette would be done and gone. I would consider it an empty because I don't want to have this huge palette in my everyday makeup bag only for a blush, but I'm not quite there yet. I think I can still work on it. I actually think that for my next update, I will have the highlighter done and I will have more progress on the blush. That's my goal for this palette. And then for the Natasha Denona 10 palette, I want to grab this a few more times. I want to actually finish this cream product, and I want to see a pan on this one maybe next month, or if I do an update every 2 months. I haven't decided yet. You will see this one cleaned out because I can use this on my collarbone sometimes to enhance a bronze that I do with powder. I can use these as a base for my cheek. I can do a bunch of things, and I don't want the cream to go bad, so this can be one that I put my mind to, and then using the other products as I go. And then for this one, I want to use it 5 more times. I think I will grab it for my Natasha Denona look that I'm going to be filming tomorrow, and that way I'm going to have one more use out of the way. But yeah, those are my goals for my next update. I know I haven't been posting that much. When you see this, I will be back to posting, but I know I wasn't posting that much. I've been traveling so much, and with a toddler, it's not the same as it used to be. But I'm back, and I've been working on the products that I told you guys that I was going to be working, even if I'm not filming. So that's it, you guys. I love you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out the question that I leave below. I will always leave a question pinned below in the comment section so that I can chat with you guys. Let me know if you're doing this project or if you're finishing a face palette this year, and let me know what you think of my progress in the Hourglass palette. I love you. Remember that I post Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Everything that is still available will be linked below, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.